Hello and welcome to another episode of the ACC Insider Podcast here on the field of 68. My name is Rob Doster. I'm thrilled to be joined today by one of the breakout stars in the ACC, the point guard for the Pitt Panthers, Jaland Lowe. Jaland, what's going on, man? Appreciate you being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
When we talked to you back at Media Day, back in October, I knew that you were going to have a big year. I could sense it, right? I could sense the confidence. I didn't know we were talking like 18 points, 6 assists, 5 boards. Where has this come from? And when did you kind of realize, you know what, like I can do this. I can be that guy.
I always thought I could do it. Always, just the work that I put in, the opportunity that I have up here, has presented itself in order for me to do this. But it's just a lot of work and just the system that I'm in around the players and coaches that I have that allows me to do this.
Yeah, I was talking with Randolph Childress, who does stuff with us here on the field of 68. And he said last year he thought that the impact you had when you moved to the starting point guard role really, really helped Pitt. And that's kind of carried over this year. Where do you feel like you've made individually maybe the biggest improvement as a player? Like we can see the numbers, we see like all that. Where do you feel like you have gotten better yourself?
Just from a leadership standpoint, knowing what I have to do at all times on the court and off the court, um, which just allows that. So, being able to be a leader now and having to step up, it really makes you lock in more on what the details are to everything. And, I think that's reflected a lot so far. So, just having that, stature now allows me to do more on and off the court.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire a little bit on this one. Right, last year you shot 36% from three. This year you shooting 20. I know you know those numbers. I know that's burning you. You're a good shooter, man. We look at those free throw numbers. I know you can shoot. How do you get that up? Is that just like maybe a byproduct of different shots that you're getting in the offense? Maybe more difficult shots. What's happened there, and how can you get better?
Just getting more reps, just getting used to the game shots. It's a little bit different than what I had last year. But it's just part of the process. It's just been it's just a little game situations that I got to get back into. Nothing wrong with it. Just got to get the mental and everything will come. The work will show for sure. I'm not too worried about it. I'm gonna keep shooting them no matter what, just because of the process and everything that goes into it. But eventually it's gonna start falling.
So I grew up on Big East basketball, right? And this was back when Pitt was still in the Big East, and I'm talking New York City point guards, right? I'm talking Brandon
Yeah.
Knight, I'm talking Levance Fields, I'm talking Carl Krauser, right? Those are the guys that I associate with Pitt basketball. Tough as hell, New York City point guards. You seem like you might be a little too nice to kind of fit in that brand, right? Like I feel like we got maybe the Southern hospitality is a little bit too much. We got to get some of that meanness in you.
Yeah, I've kind of shown that the last two games, trying to feel,
Sure.
just fill that out a little bit more. But I definitely need to show that a little bit more, just to get myself going and get everybody else going.
It's the Southern hospitality, huh? You can't shake it.
Yeah, that's just I got to break out that shell a little bit more.
In all seriousness, though, the lineage of Pitt point guards is something that we've seen a lot of, and I think you can kind of throw Bud Carrington into that conversation as well. Did that impact your decision? Like, are you even aware of those guys? I mean, you're young. What are you, 20, 21 years old now? So
20, yeah.
you're 20, yeah. So like, are you even aware of those guys? Is that something that kind of went into your decision when you were looking at Pitt?
To be honest, I had no clue. As a kid, I didn't. As a kid, I never really watched Big East basketball. Everything was kind of just, as a kid, you just watched the blue buds, really, and then everything down south or out west. So coming up here, I didn't really know who they were specifically. But if you showed me highlights, I was like, okay, yeah, I remember seeing that highlight, or I remember watching them playing little as a kid. But that didn't really go too big into my decision.
Yeah, so maybe you aren't that nice. You just called me old. um, uh, how did you end up playing at Pitt, right? Like you're a Texas kid. I gotta imagine all the Texas schools were recruiting you. I gotta imagine all those Midwest schools were recruiting you, and you decided to head to the ACC. You decided to play for Jeff Capel. Just what kind of went into that process, and how did he find a way to be able to get you out of the great state of Texas? I know you Texas kids love Texas more than anything else.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I really didn't get recruited from a lot of Texas schools or Midwest schools. This was my only ACC school I got offered by. The thing is, Coach Capel actually recruited one of the guys my dad had coached when I was little. He was also at the gyms that I was at when I was little as a kid with John Lucas.
Hmm.
So we kind of had that connection through them and my people. So once he got to the ACC, he came down and watched me at a tournament, recognized me, and from then on, he built a relationship with me. And to be honest with you, it was just more about the best fit somewhere with a coach that's super honest, straight up, fits my playing style, has the same goals in mind for me, and that's what I got in Coach Capel, and I love him as a coach for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you kind of about him and the way that it feels like he just kind of lets his point guards go sometimes. And if you're a point guard and you see that, that's got to be an appealing guy to go play for.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he was a guard himself, so just the style that he has up here, the playing style. As a guard, you love to see it, and you would want to play for it for sure. Just because he puts a lot of trust in his guards, and as a guard, you got to put that trust back into him and show him that you can handle it. So we take a lot of pride in that. I know he takes a lot of pride in what he's established here, and we're super proud to be playing underneath him.
Yeah, I think the thing about him that has really impressed me, at least the last couple of years, is his ability to kind of identify talent, right? Like, I don't know if anybody saw Bub being a one and done player. You got a lot of your story left to write here, but I mean, you're a sophomore having one of the best statistical seasons that we've seen out of a point guard in a long time. So, is that what is it about Coach that allows him to kind of understand and identify those guys?
I mean, I think you just have to have a feel and an eye for it. He's one of those people that can really see talent, see the work that people are putting in, and that's all the credit to him. I don't know how he does it. Some people just have a good eye for basketball. A lot of people don't, but
You're glad
at
he
the
did
end
with
of the
you,
day,
huh?
he did a great job with me. I'm gonna say that he did an amazing job with me. But he's just a guy that really knows basketball, studies the game, has been around it a lot, been around a lot of different players, a lot of different cultures. So all the credit to him and to his knowledge to be able to see people and see what they're able to do and get them over here.
So we had him on this pod maybe 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, something like that. And he kind of opened up a little bit about some of the difficulties that he's had mentally dealing with his tenure at Pitt and some of the struggles that they've had and not maybe living up to the expectations that he has had for himself as a coach. And
Yeah.
I'm curious if he talks to you about any of that, if you hear that from him, or if you see that from him, or if you've seen him kind of grow in your time that you've been on campus.
I mean, yes, he's expressed to the whole team, not just to individual. I mean, individually, he said it to me before, but he says it to the team. Like he's been through some hard things up here. He had an expectation of himself and what he would like to do up here. He was on a high pedestal and he got humbled. Things like that. He's explained it all to us, and as a guard coming in, seeing being recruited when man, they finished like fourth from last in the ACC the year before. Um, I just have trust in him, but I've seen him grow a lot. You see the joy that he coaches with, the passion that he coaches with, and yeah, I mean, we all understand what he's been through, so we play with that chip on our shoulder because he coaches the same way.
All right. We've been meaning to kind of get you on here for a couple of weeks, right? Like I've kind of had you circled, been waiting for you guys to reel off a couple wins. And I mean, you went through a bad stretch there, four in a row that you dropped, and you've turned this around, right? I think it would be really easy for any team to lose four in a row. You kind of get yourself in that spot to let that thing snowball and let that kind of derail the season. And you guys didn't. Not only did you beat Syracuse, but you turn around and you beat a really good North Carolina team, one of the the blue bloods of the sport. How did that happen and why?
Just getting back to our roots. That's what it was. We kind of lost ourselves a little bit. Going through adversity. But we brought ourselves back together. We know who we are. We know our identity. We know where we come from. So just finding that love and joy again, and coming to practice and being around each other. We know what it takes in order to win, and we just got to consistently find that and consistently do it every single time, every single day. Coming to practice, whether it's on your own, coming in the gym, or just as a team, we got to find a way to use that passion and joy and continue to fight and win games.
Yeah, so the run was at Duke, Louisville home, at Florida State, who's just those guys are a nightmare matchup. I don't care what their numbers of the record is, and then at home to Clemson in overtime. A couple of really tough home losses there that were could have been they were essentially one possession games, right? I think at one point were you guys ranked before that? You either ranked or like right outside the poll, right? Um,
Yeah.
was that is there any benefit to maybe a little bit of a humbling moment like that? Like you guys are feeling yourselves and you kind of get beat back a little bit and now it's like, all right, we got to reset, we got to recenter, and we got to make sure that we are who we are.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I feel like, that just comes with the sport. The basketball gods, put that upon you. So humbling definitely needed to be there for sure, just to get us back in the right mindset to know that none of this comes easy. It's no cakewalk, none of that. And that we got to go out there and fight every day and don't take it for granted. I feel like that's the most important thing. Is that you got to play every game like it's your last, like it's a championship game. And, you know, that's we didn't play like that in those games, and it showed. So therefore, we have the mentality of what we need to do going forward, and hopefully that helps us.
Yeah, and I think that shined through on Tuesday night against Carolina, right? Like you guys are down double digits with I want to say 3 minutes left in the first half. Score a couple threes in a row. You cut that thing to two at halftime, and you're able to fight back in the second half. It felt like that was a little bit of a turning moment for you guys there in terms of okay, you know what? Like we can do this, man. We got the talent to be able to make this thing happen. Am I reading too much into it? Was there anything about that little run at the end of the second half that maybe you felt a little different?
Nah, it's just we know who we are, and at the end of the day, every time we huddle up, it's just telling each other just to trust and trust in what we do, and just play hard at the end of the day and finish games out strong, finish halves out strong, and that's what we did. We ran it together, got some stops, made some shots that we can make on a consistent basis. We're not really worried about scoring on our end. We're just really worried about getting stops every possession, and yeah, I mean that's always going to be a factor for us. Is just not worrying about offense as much and just playing defense and things of that nature.
What's the most important thing moving forward? Now, I want a real answer. Like, I don't want the media trained Jaland Lowe now that he's a star. Like, he knows the right. Like, what has to happen? You got at Wake Forest coming up next Saturday. You're at North Carolina. You got at SMU. Those are three huge games for you guys if you're going to kind of put together a resume that'll get you a seed. Not only where you get in the tournament, but maybe where you can win a game or two, make a run here. Um, I know you're going to say take it one game at a time, stick together, anything, but like what do you guys need to do here to be able to win these games and make this run and turn this North Carolina win into a winning streak?
We need to contain other teams' best players. Keep them to shots and things that we're willing to give up. And we got to rebound. That's the most important thing. A lot of our losses came because we got out rebounded, and that's kind of the saying that's going around right now is that you can bully Pitt, you can out rebound them, push them around, and things of that nature. But going forward, we're not letting that slide. We know what we need to do in order to win, and we've had that talk. And going forward, we're gonna impose our will and be the bullies out there because it's time for us to win. We need to win, and it's crunch time now.
So no more Mr. Nice Guy from the Texas kid anymore.
Not at all.
All right, I got four more quick ones for you, and you got to give me an honest answer. All right, I need an answer on all of these. All right, number one, who is the one guy on the team that you will never allow to cook dinner for anybody else?
Cook, Zach Austin.
The worst chef, Zach Austin.
I don't even know if he can put anything together, actually.
He can't even microwave something.
That's the only thing he can do.
All right. Favorite road trip in the ACC. And I'm not talking about like the arena. I'm not talking like playing the camera or anything like that. I'm talking the best restaurants you go to, the best city to kind of experience and be in. Is it just Miami? Is that what everyone's going to say?
Nah, see, that's the thing about me. I can't really give a good answer to any of the Florida parts because every time I've gone to Florida State and then Miami last year, I was sick. Like
Uh,
I was bedridden. Like I could barely move. So I have no good memories about Florida. But I think for the most part, so far, uh, I'd probably put just North Carolina in general because they got cookout over there. They got the cookout, and we got some North Carolina people on our team. That make sure we're well fed and that we eat at the right spots when we're down there.
yeah, I was gonna say, Archie, you're supposed to be like a high level Division 1 athlete, and you're eating cookout. You better not let the trainer hear that.
We don't got cookout or some of the places that we call home sometimes, and that's got some good burgers and stuff like that. So sometimes you need a little cheat meal.
Fair enough. Who's the best gamer on the team?
Best gamer, I put it on. The Twins play the game a lot, but they play games that just we don't really play too much. I probably either put Marlon Barnes Jr., me, or Zach. We play the game a
You.
lot.
You got to put
Yeah,
yourself in there. I see you.
yeah, got to.
Best dressed and worst dressed, and I need an answer on both of those.
I got you. Best dressed, I'm gonna put Ishmael Leggett, and then worst dressed. Ah man, I can't say this. Worst dressed. Ah, I'm I don't know. I'm not gonna put no names out there.
Good, smart man, smart. They're letting you take shots right now. You don't want your teammates to get mad at you. I see you.
Nah, yeah, I'm gonna keep it quiet.
Listen, Jalen, I appreciate the time, man. Best of luck the rest of the season here, and hopefully we can see you guys go on a little bit of run, get together a resume, and make some noise in the NCAA tournament. When you do, you got to come back on. But we need to mean Jalen when you come back on. All right.
Yes, sir, no doubt.
Thanks, man.